All right, this is like my actual spreadsheet. So a 5x8 on the dumbbell press, flat, a Pendlay row 5x8 at 70%. That's what that 70 is. And I didn't input my estimated maxes yet, so it says 70%. But that's day one, week one, and then this is going to be day two, which is a strength lower body session, a heavier lower body session, 5x5 on the front squat, 3x5 on the deadlift. And as we go on through the training cycle, every week the volume kind of tapers a bit, and then the intensity picks up. So we went from day one, day two to day four, and you'll see at the end as to why we did that. So yeah, we have a 5x6 on day four with just a standard high bar back squat. And then this is day five, the last day of the training week, 3x10 on the dumbbell incline, 5x10 on the Pendlay row. So day three is a day that's kind of, I guess, an active recovery day for a bodybuilder. It's just a pumpy day, as you will see. So this is what my week's secondaries look like. For the most part, everything is between the 8 to 15 rep range. I do 120 chin-ups a week, but that's not on there. But yeah, and just with body weight at this point. So that's what the training week looks like. This is what my treadmill looks like. So that's like no backdrop. That's actually my backyard. And I'm surprised I didn't get more comments about my 10 miles of walking throughout the week, because it sounds like quite a bit. It sounds quite boring. But to be honest, it's something that I enjoy, especially because, you know, outside, actually, no, not my gym time's like inside walls. So, you know, with most of my day spent behind a computer and then training, you know, whenever I get a chance to go out there and hit up these open spaces that are virtually everywhere around me. Well, first of all, it's a joy. Like, I thoroughly enjoy it. Usually it's in the middle of the day. It's kind of like my little break. I was supposed to actually talk during this leg of the video, but the wind was just so annoying that I just decided to do a voiceover over the whole thing. But yeah, I generally enjoy this. It's like my time to unplug, get some vitamin D, not be inside all day. And I think the big one to me, the reason that over the last few years, and honestly since my prep in 2008, I've used nothing but steady state cardio, I'd say. Yeah, nothing but steady state. And that's simply because it just doesn't interfere with my weight training. You know, in order for me to finish off this prep looking like I still lift, I need to still lift by the end of this prep. So because of that, this is again very low impact, doesn't really cause fatigue, so it's not going to disrupt the rate at which I recover in between sessions. And because it makes me very happy, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say that it probably, if anything, expedites recovery in some way. So yeah, anywhere between 9 to 10 miles of this a week is what I'm starting off with. I am pretty sure that I might have to bump it up once, maybe twice, but to be honest, I don't mind, not at all. Yeah, this is also like my creative time. So whenever I'm kind of just stuck, like stuck in like that fight or flight stress response hits me behind the computer, that's exactly when I take my shoes and I head outdoors. By the way, those shoes that I opened up with, man, I think they have at this point well over 300 miles of hiking. Yeah, they've done some pretty epic trails over the last few years. I just can't seem to throw them away. So this is what the training is looking like. Wanted to take you guys through some of my training, which again is something that makes me really happy, outside of the fact that it is going to help me keep muscle on me as I diet down into proper stage conditioning. But the big thing about training is it when it's productive, when it's progressive, that's when I'm like most happy, especially early on in a prep, when, you know, again, I feel like if your program is soundly put together, you can definitely make some strides the first few weeks. And I think there's nothing wrong with that, because again, at a certain point, especially early on, when you do still have a bit of body fat and you're still eating plenty of food, there's nothing wrong with perhaps progressing a bit. I think this will come in handy later on when perhaps you start to backslide a bit, so that by the time you do in your contest prep, you're not like at these demoralizing levels of performance, where you're like half of the person that you were in regards to your how productive the sessions are. And I've had a prep like that before. I've had preps when actually my first prep when I legitimately just thought that this sport wasn't for me and that I'll never be able to be like lean and strong. That's just weren't the cards I was dealt with. So yeah, we're much more smarter about our training, and the first few weeks we can actually net quite a bit of progress. And again, this right here is just my barbell complexes. It's something that I do prior to just about any session. It's a good way to get my core body temp up, and it takes me through essentially every plane that I will most likely take on that day. So this was a lower body session, and this was actually a PR for this body weight, 5x4 with 305 pounds on the front squat, and it made me really freaking happy. So again, right now, while I'm still not where I want to be physique-wise, it's kind of nice to have performance that just keeps you busy and content. So I was definitely content with this session, and this is early in the training cycle, so things are only going to get heavier, and this felt very appropriate. So all the numbers that I've written down for me for the rest of this training cycle look like very, very likely, even as I lose body weight. Funny story here. So hardly ever do I lift with music. It's just distracting, especially music that I enjoy can be distracting, especially on these technical lifts. So I was just listening to white noise, which worked pretty well. And I think I'm going to keep doing that, especially on my big sessions. Just really, really slowed everything down for me, and was not distracting at all. So yeah, after this week, we're basically going to start dieting again. I feel like I took a long enough break where I was able to regenerate a few things in my upper half. Shoulders came back like literally within 10 days. And then my arms definitely made some strides, I feel, as well, just by giving them back some of the volume that they were used when backing off on other areas, primarily my lower half. So that I was super content to see that happen like literally overnight. And I think the biggest thing with my arms was the fact that I'm dealing with a little bit of tendonitis in my right elbow, and I'm like, man, this is going to be something that I might just have to deal with like during these first few weeks of this contest prep. But during this time away from the deficit, just eating for a few weeks, it's actually like helped it mend quite a bit. I'd say my right elbow is about 90. No, 90 is too much. I'd say about 80%. But it's at about 80%. So it's only a few movements hurt it, whereas I think when it was at its worst, quite a few movements were. I wouldn't say pain, but it was just distracting to work around. But everything is feeling much better now, and I think just that in itself is really going to make maintaining lean body mass in my upper extremities less of a challenge. So super I think I'm super optimistic about where we're going to go during this prep, not just in regards to conditioning, but in regards to preserving lean body mass. And I think one thing that I'm like most proud of myself for doing is like being okay with being a bit patient. I think just like a lot of you guys, I'd say that I remember when like deloading was a bad thing. Like now I look forward to my deloads, and they're just vital to me being able to progress and stay healthy. I understand that I've completely bought into that, but I would say that the diet deload is the full-on diet break is still something that I still kind of feel, even myself, that it gets in the way sometimes, and it's hard to pull that card on myself. But I was able to do that, and I think that is a really positive thing for me, because I definitely think that's not going to be the biggest change in my training, in my prep, but I feel like it's going to definitely impact not just the final product, but I feel just how mentally healthy. I mean, I guess post prep is what I'm trying to say. How easy the transition is going to be into like just, I guess, regular off season bodybuilder life once it's over. So yeah, it's going to affect the prep positively, but I'm also like really, yeah, I'm excited to see what this does for mental health during the prep and after the prep. But yeah, again, like the reason that I do light intensity cardio is just because I want to keep up with this. Like that is the one thing that will take a hit at a certain point as you're training. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm dieting, especially dieting for shows, training definitely takes a hit. And even which I don't think there's any like data out there that's convincing enough to just without a doubt say that like high intensity cardio is in some way better than light intensity cardio, especially for someone who weight trains. However, even if there was like if there was a slight edge in regards to like what you get out of like the sessions when you compare when you compare them like head to head, I would still do light intensity cardio simply because it doesn't get in the way of this my weightlifting, and I look forward to it. It makes me happy. So I spend way too much time indoors, like I think most people nowadays. So yeah, for me it's like it's definitely I don't see that one changing. Whereas like maybe certain aspects of my training, I can see those adapting. The way I set up my calories throughout the week, I can see that adapting. But I definitely feel that light intensity cardio is something that I'm going to keep around for a while. I'm open to changing my opinion on that, like just about anything else. But as of right now, that's probably one that I will definitely bet my money on will be around for a while. I definitely think that is what's most appropriate for someone who's really going in on a contest prep. So yeah, that is it. Here we go. I'll leave it there for now, and I think next week will be more exciting simply because we will have a full-on physique update. So there you have it, guys. I'll see you guys next week.